Welcome to Conversations with Toy, a blogcast tackling life one episode at a time. This is the time to air out life's craziest moments. This space is all about speaking about life's hang-ups and ways in which we can leave better than when we started. Topics are all about ways we can find space to be better in life, love, mental space, and health.
Greetings, family. This is Toy from Conversations with Toy. I'm so glad that you are here. It is not by coincidence or whatsoever. You know that I believe that nothing just happens. It's ordained for you to listen to this episode. This is a bonus episode. I'd like to do a bonus episode almost every season as we go into the next, and we are in season 7 and on our way to season 8. But before we go to another season, I wanted to bring to you a 2-time Grammy Award winning duo, and they are called the Black Violin. Now, they are coming to the Kimmel Center this Thursday, March the 9th, 2023, and they're giving the Black Violin experience. And you may say to yourself, well, what is the Black Violin experience? It is a fusion of hip hop and classical music fused together, and the sound, which I've heard clips already and seen, is absolutely hands down great. If you've never been influenced or even heard of hip hop, I don't know where you've been, because hip hop is just in everything that we see and do, right? And if you've never heard of classical music and that's not really your thing, I think when you listen to this group, I think you will change your mind. It's exposing people old and young to the sounds of classical music and hip hop. And it's also giving Black kids, and I say that not gingerly, but it gives Black kids the ability to see that we can do anything that we choose to do. For some, this is the first time they've ever seen a Black violinist. And for some, this may be the first time they've ever heard of the great sounds of hip hop. Because we can fuse both of them, we are getting the Black Violin experience. And it's important to me to for my own children to make sure that they're exposed to different types of art. And this is just one of those types. So I want you to make sure that you not only listen to this episode, but you also get your tickets if you are in the Philadelphia area, or let's say you're not in the Philadelphia area. That's okay. You can also go into the show notes and make sure that you either donate to what they're doing, because they do have what's called the Black Violin Foundation, and it does everything you'll hear later in the episode about supporting other Black and upcoming artists, as well as giving away instruments. So without any further ado, on today's episode, we are speaking to Will Baptiste, and he is going to talk to us about how the group came about. I asked him his top hip hop artists. We get into a little bit about self-care. We talk about everything in between. And so I think this episode is really amazing. I mean, I could be biased, but let's go ahead and give a tune in to Will and what we had to talk about. All right, Conversations with Toy family, we have a bonus episode. You know, I love to do a bonus episode almost every season. And with that being said, we have a musical combination, I would say. We have Will Baptiste. He is here. He is of the Black Violin Experience, which is a show that's coming to the Kimmel Center on this Thursday, the 9th. And we want you to be a part of that. This is a mix between violin, hip hop, all the things. So we have Will here, who's going to talk about what we can expect, the sounds, how they came to be, and all the things. Thank you, Will, for being a part of the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So let's get right into it. How did you both, because it's you and Kevin, how did you both start this process of becoming this group?
Well, I guess I gotta kind of tell you the story. You know, we grew up in the inner city playing orchestra, and we were hip hop before we started playing these instruments. So for us, it was very organic in the way that we kind of combined the two worlds together. You know, and for us, you know, we're just typical kids. You know, we had regular classes, but every second period and fourth period we had orchestra class and viola and violin technique class. So for us, that was normal for us. And to listen to the radio and listen to the Tupacs and Biggie of the world and pick up the violin, viola, and start just improvising, just freestyling, you know, on top of the beat was natural for us. It was just, you know what I mean? And I credit hip hop for that, honestly, because hip hop is about being yourself and being true to yourself. And that's exactly what we did because we knew classical music. We were, training for this. So it was just natural for us to put the two worlds together. And Kevin and I went to high school together. We kind of went our separate ways for college. And then we came back together and started producing. And because we wanted to be the next major producers, like, we were very inspired and influenced by Timbaland and Neptunes. And that was it. We wanted to be the one of the biggest producers, and we wanted to incorporate classical music in a way that no one's ever done it. That was the whole thing. And we didn't realize until performing with artists in South Florida and that we noticed that, oh, snap, people really like this whole putting the violin on top of hip hop beats. For us, it was just fun. And we started doing that, and we started performing a lot of places in South Florida and Miami, every club. Just imagine you having a good time, just moving around. Next thing you know, two black dudes walking around playing the violin. That was us. Getting on top of the bar, like it was very, very new. This is before the internet as we know it today. This is before TikTok, YouTube, none of this stuff existed. So you just had to go home and tell, hey man, I saw these two black dudes at the club playing the violin. So it was word of mouth. We went on Apollo 2004 and just won the whole thing. And that's when we really realized we had something special. Before then it was just kind of, doing it because we love it. But then we realized, oh snap, this is, if Harlem likes what you're doing, then
Then you're good.
you're doing something right,
Right. I really love that because I feel like it's giving kids, adults, anybody to inspire, like just doing what you love. And the fact that you're able to combine both worlds, which is a unusual pairing, but from what I've saw and what I've listened to from you guys, it's a beautiful pairing.
Yeah, it is a beautiful parent, and I think it's because again we're both at the same time, and it's not we're not trying to do it; it just happens. And again, I credit hip hop for that because if I was doing anything in terms of arts that wasn't the violin, I think I would do the same thing because it's in me to just want to be rebellious and just do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what hip
Right.
hop is about. That's what hip hop is about, and that's why I love it, and that's why kids are drawn to it. Kids see us and they're just like, "Oh snap! Here's this thing that looks very hard and prestigious and whatever, and here's these guys that look like me that are taking it and just like smashing it on the ground and just doing whatever we want with it." You know what I mean? So that nature of just like, oh man, this rebellious, I can do whatever I want. It really comes across in the music, and I think it's because of just how different the two genres is. But they're not so different though. You know what I mean? They really
Mhm.
aren't that different in terms of like the inception of it. What I mean by that is if you think of classical music, back in the days, if you were a wealthy person, you in politics and you know what I'm saying, you throw really dope parties back in the days, you might call Mozart because you got the bread to call, hey Mozart, listen, I'm trying to throw this party, right? I
Right. Let's
need
get
a
together.
special tune. You know what I'm saying? I need something special. Don't send me that same tune that you play for a homeboy. Give me something real special. It was the same thing, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of composers were nothing but producers, what I'm saying, back in those days. You know what I mean? And now only difference is like we're still playing these old music today. We're still interpreting these music. And there's not a lot of interpretation in terms of classical music. Like you play it this way, and maybe the conductor may have a little bit of wiggle room in terms of how he wants it to present it, but that's the beauty of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You make it yours. You make it how you want to do it.
I love the fact that you said about, people, kids are specifically seeing someone that looks like them. For some kids, this may be the first experience where they've heard classical music or they've heard Mozart. They may not have been exposed to that. How does that make you feel that you may be the first time your voice and your sound and all of this thing is like presented to a child that has never heard of that?
It makes me feel great. It makes me feel good. And the reason why it does is because it makes them feel like they belong and it makes them feel like this is mine too, you know? Because class music as a whole is not that. They don't make you feel at home. You know what I'm saying? Class music don't make you feel like this belongs to you, and
Right.
it's very intentional in that way. And I think our music makes it a bit more inclusive, you know. And I do believe that there's kids that listen to us and watch the show, and they say, "Oh snap, okay, maybe I can listen to some Beethoven, maybe." You know what I mean? And vice versa. If someone that just doesn't really listen to hip hop, I think they'll be more inclined to pop in a Nas record or Lauryn Hill, some classic, you know, some classic hip hop, you know. Maybe not Lil Uzi or nothing, but you
Maybe
know,
not yet. Let's just ease them in. You don't want to throw them in too quick.
yeah, you can't throw them too quick in the fire. Yeah.
So you talk about hip hop, which is part of our culture, right? It's everything. Who give me your top three, if you could, your top three hip hop artists. Now, any order, you don't got to put them in another order, just three top of your three tops.
Man, you know, put me in the spot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love artists that tell stories, right? I'm a visual person. You talk to me and I see images. I see a movie in my head. So I gotta go with, I know he's young still, he still has a lot to give, but Kendrick to me is definitely there because though I love artists like Common, right, that do the same thing, I think Kendrick is very like extremely intentional about the art that he presents and the story that he tells, and it's completely relevant, which is not an easy thing in this day and age to be really rooted in who you are and just be, because as an artist you're vulnerable, right? You're just opening yourself out to the world, and I really appreciate him doing that in the rawest form, you know, regardless if you like it or not. It's raw, and I think it's therapeutic for a lot of people. So Kendrick is one. No order.
No, no order.
And I would say, you know, man, it's a lot of them. This is just straight hip hop because if you
Mm-hmm.
so I think of artists like Lauryn Hill. I know Lauryn Hill gets a lot of
She gets a lot of flack because she may or may not be as tardy to the party, but she does get a lot of flack.
she does, but man, I think she's misunderstood, man. And granted, she may come late. I've seen her perform at award shows, but I've never honestly went to one of her concerts, so I can't even really, you know, I can't.
Speak on that part.
She gonna get get on time in the award shows.
Right. She ain't got no choice. You got to get there on time.
All right, let me stop for somebody, you know.
Does she hear this and be like, let me just not talk to them?
All right, but so she's because you know, I love artists also that embodies the idea of an artist, just the artist of the time that they live in, and you know, they speak on things that matter. And for me, I like to consume things that feed me, you know. And to me, one of the albums, the Unplug album, I know a lot of people just don't get it. They don't like it. And but for me, I love it because it's just a person that's a human being. Yeah, she's a dope artist, but she's a human being. She's just giving you everything. She's pouring out everything. Her voice is cracking. It's just like I thought it was a beautiful thing, and people didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? People like, man, what is this? And
I
that's
personally love most of Unplugged albums. Jay-Z's Unplugged, I liked it. I like that better than the original. So when it comes to Unplugged, you just hear that raw sound. I'm all team Unplugged for sure.
it ain't nothing like it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If you love an artist, like the idea of an artist doing that, because artists don't do that, especially nowadays. You know, there's a lot of insecurity that's involved with that, right? So if an artist does that, man, you got to give it up for them because they're giving you them in
Them, the
the
essence of them and
rawest
their talent.
form, you know, the rawest form. And you mentioned Jay-Z. Jay-Z's got to be one of my next, the third, right? It's
Mhm.
because I think I've seen him grow. Because even though you know, there's a lot of certain things about Jay I don't necessarily agree, but I think as an artist, he elevates himself. You know what I'm saying? Like that one album, and it's just so hilarious how someone is doing this thing, and then they do something different that elevates the culture, and people go down on them. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I look
Mhm.
at that and I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, so you're supposed to learn from all that stuff you were doing, then you grow up. You know what I'm saying?
I would
You're the
hope so.
person,
Ain't we supposed to do that in real life? Like, isn't that supposed to
right?
be our real life?
You know what I'm saying? Like to me, like that album, I forget what the album's called. Is it 444? I think it was called, right?
Yes, four, four,
That
four.
album, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm like, that's Jay-Z, that's like, I'm thinking about old Jay-Z, like for him to come out with an album like that, you know what I'm saying, talking about things that are just relevant, and I think it was really powerful, and I think a lot of people just didn't, they're not ready. People are really um people don't want to hear real and truth, bro. Like they're just like allergic to just like truth and realness. Like, please, I'm asleep. Let me sleep. I don't want to wake up. You know what I mean? So
Right, but I feel like too, Jay-Z is a married man now with three kids.
right,
He had to at some point evolve. He can't still talk about, some of the things in his younger times,
right,
say, but just some of his things from his younger times. He can't be talking about that now, being a father and a husband. Like, what's that
right,
going to be looking like? What's that going to look like? And if he had done that, then everybody would still be like, you should grow up because you
right.
have a kid and family. Like,
Exactly.
it's just you can't please people. You really can't. But that's the
Can't.
thing about hip hop. You can take what you need and leave what you don't. But yeah, I'm here for the growth.
Me too. But that's my three.
Your top three, okay? I mean, you're not. I like that. So, what can we expect at the Kimmel Show? Because you are infusing hip hop, you are bringing some vocals, you have the violin, you have all these sounds together. What can anyone that's listening or preparing to go to the show on the ninth? What can they expect?
You can expect really a true experience, and what I mean by that is it's obviously classical hip hop fusion, but there's a lot of different things in between. There's some blues, there's some funk, and I think the experience comes with seeing everybody in the same building at the same time. I think we bring a ride, all kinds of different kinds of people that come to the Black Violin shows, and that's to me the biggest thing because it's beautiful to see different colors, different creeds. It doesn't matter, different ages, young, old. I love seeing that, and that experience is incredible. And the music itself is big, is it's loud. You know what I mean? It's and we got subs rattling. But at the same time, we bring it down. We play some real subtle things, you know what I'm saying? And like you mentioned, there's some vocals in there too. So it's inspiring, it's impactful. If you got your kids, you got someone that's not feeling too well, whatever they feeling a little down, just bring them out to the show. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely lift their spirits, and it's just good music, man. It's good times. And then that's what you can expect, man. Just good times, good music, and feel good music. And we encourage the crowd to participate with us. Like, if you feel like screaming, scream. You want to get up out your seat, do that. Like, be free, because I'm free on stage. Trust me.
I
So,
like that. Talk to me about the Black Violin Foundation.
the Black Violin Foundation, very, very proud of the Black Violin Foundation. It's really an extension of what we already do because we connect with a lot of kids on the road, and something we've been talking about for years. And our wives, Kevin and I, our wives, Ann Sylvester and Corinne Freeman, took took the mantle. Right? They said, "Listen, we'll do this. We'll kind of run the foundation." And the premise of the foundation is basically to, fill gaps. In our careers, we had a lot of individuals that were very instrumental in our lives, whether it's we needed a new instrument, whether we needed a flight to a music camp, whatever that thing was, to help us get to that next level. And we were very fortunate to have individuals that were there, whether family members or teachers, and we want to be able to do that for kids that just have that dream, and we don't want that dream to be stifled because of something that they can't control. So that's the premise of it. Like, we're giving out, actually, it's open now, scholarships right now. You can go to blackviolinfoundation.org. We accept donations as well, so you can go there and see what the applications are, and basically, and it's open enrollment right now. And the different kinds of scholarships that we have a instrument giveaway scholarship where we give out instrument to, let's say a high school kid that's trying to, audition for college to get to that next level, but just need that really solid instrument, right?
Yes.
So we have that, and we also have a scholarship for diversity scholarship. So basically, if because there's not a lot of classical musicians that look like us. You know what I mean? So we have scholarships specifically for that to really give kids that look like us the opportunity and the access. So definitely check out the website blackviolinfoundation.org and to see the scholarships that we're giving out and yeah, man, it's one of the best things that we do, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because we know we have the impact. We see the impact that we have. We see the power that we have. So we try to use it to our best ability, and we try to give back as much as we can. And it feels good, it feels good to do that. So yeah.
Now, you get to travel. You're helping the kids in various communities. I love that. What do you do for self-care? What do you do to take care of yourself?
What do I do to take care of myself? One thing I do is I don't work. I try not to work too hard, man. If I'm a rest, I'm a rest, and and this is difficult, very difficult for me at least, what I'm saying, to just be like, man, just chill. You don't got to do nothing today. And the thing that I do is I play basketball whenever I can, because that it may not seem like something that releases a lot of tension or stress or whatever, but it definitely does for me. When I go out there, I'm not thinking about nothing else but try to, rain on these fools. I'm just playing. It's something that really helps me. And another thing that I try to do is um, you'll get a massage, right? But also too, I like to be in quiet spaces. You know what I mean? Like there's this place that I go to and I get a massage and I'll just stay there for like hours. You know what I'm saying? This is just a room and I just stay there and there's music going on. My eyes are closed sometimes, or I go into the steam room. Just really having that time to yourself to just really unwind and not think about anything else. You know what I'm saying? And those are some of the things that I do. And if I'm in my space too, because sometimes I go in my studio in my office and just listen to music, listen to some vinyls, and just I got my headphones on. I'm just like in a quiet space. I like quiet spaces. You know what I'm saying? I got little kids, so I try to I try to tell them, listen, let daddy just chill for a little bit. But also do I like to spend time with my kids, man. That's when I'm home. I'm there. I'm present. You know what I'm saying? What y'all want to do? Let's go. I pick my kids up from school. I get them off the bus. You know what I mean? I try to do all those things because it's one thing that we don't got is time. We can't buy time. When tomorrow is gone, it's gone. So I try to take advantage of the time I got. Try to spend time with family and yeah, man, that's that's what I do.
I like that. So this show is this Thursday at the Kimmel Center, which is specifically the Miriam Theater. And well, the former Miller, this the Miller Theater used to be Miriam. And you guys are going to be rocking it at 7:30. So we will put in the show links for those who are listening. We will put the link to the show, the link to the foundation so that you can donate and or see if you have a child, if you want to apply for one of the scholarships. We'll have everything in there for you so that you don't, if you're listening, you're working out, you're doing whatever you're doing, you don't have to worry. You can just click on it and support. Is there anything else you would like to say as we end this podcast episode?
Um, Social media, I guess, we're on all social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. That's it.
We'll have all that in the show notes as well. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the show. I can't wait to see the show on Thursday and to see how all of this goes together. What I've saw, some of the clips have been truly amazing. I loved it. I showed it to my son who said, "Oh, wow, I didn't know Black people or Black men play the violin." And I said, yes, to my son, we do everything. There's some of us somewhere in every area.
Right, right.
So
We
thank
do.
you so much and can't wait to listen to your show.
Thank you. I appreciate the interview.
So what did you think? I thoroughly enjoyed this podcast episode. I thoroughly enjoyed interviewing Will. I really did. I mean, this episode was just amazing in every way. And again, the two worlds can collide. We can expose children and adults to things that they're not used to and allow them to experience. I mean, classical music for me, I have to say, I was exposed to the arts at a very young age. My mother was in musical arts and theater and things of that sort, but not everybody has a mom that starts off in theater. So for those who don't and have never experienced seeing a live show, or if you've been to a live show but never heard classical music before, it's okay. Nobody's here to judge you. But we are saying that if you are in the Philadelphia area, go ahead and get your tickets. It's happening this Thursday. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be for everybody. No age is turned away because music really touches everybody. And you get to take away from concerts when you hear about classical music or hip hop and this fusion, you get to take away what resonates with you. I hope that you go to the show because that's what I'm encouraging you to do, because why not? And also, I mean, these are brilliant. These are two-time Grammy award-winning duo. I mean, you can't get that. And listen, musical genius happens in different genres, and it just happens to be in this beautiful fusion. So get your tickets, support the Black Violin Foundation. Again, all in your show notes. Follow them on their social. Again, all in the show notes. And thank you for listening. As you enjoy the rest of your weekend, I hope that you find at least one activity that truly, truly makes you happy. Listen, life is hard, life is tough, but we are tougher. And one thing we have to do is we got to start living. And I know when things get dark, sometimes it's hard to do that. But I just encourage you, find one activity. If it's reading a book, read that book. If it's going for a walk, if it's, doing a puzzle, whatever it is, I want you to enjoy that activity. Have the most amazing weekend. We are coming back with season 8 next Friday. Listen, we have all of March already scheduled out. Season 8 is hitting it quite hard. We already have 4 amazing episodes. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week when we start a whole new season of Conversations with Toy.
Thank you as always for joining me, and I know that even in the deepest or joyful conversations that there's something we can learn and apply. Until next time, I hope that you are doing better. If not, we will be back to talk some more and handle it. Peace to you and yours. Stay grounded.